All right, divisibility rules for 2, 5, and 10. We're going to be looking at a lot of different divisibility rules because we are going to be doing factoring later on, and that will use our multiples and divisibility rules to make life a lot easier. So it's dealing with multiples / divisibility rules, and our general rules are if it's 2, we're looking for those even numbers, and even numbers will end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10 shouldn't be there because that's a 0. And then if it's a divisibility with 5s end with a 0 or a 5. And then 10s, if it's divisible by 10, it will end in a 0. Now, the multiples are divisibility rules for 10, 100, 1000, 0.1, and all of those are actually really useful, and we will be using them throughout. They do help with measurements and stuff like that. But for the most part, multiples of 10, 100, 1000, all of those things are useful, but these should be the easy rules. There's not a lot of options for what things are. All right, so when we're looking at it, divisibility by 2, we're always, for any of these problems, we're really just looking at that last digit. All right, so for 2, it has to end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. This is a 7. It is not, so it's not going to be either one. This is a 0, so it is divisible by 2. This is an 8, so it is divisible by 8. All right, which numbers are divisible by 5? So they have to end in a 0 or a 5. Not a 0 or a 5. This is a 0. Not a 0 over 5, so that's the only one that I can do in that row. And which numbers are divisible by 10? That has to end in a 0, so that is a 7, not a 0. This is a 0, and then this is not a 0. Now, as a forewarning, there will be some that could be none of these above, and remember, it's a computer generating the questions, so some of them are nice, some of them are not. But just know those rules for what things end with when they're divisible by 2, 5, and 10.